Hello and welcome to the Proofread Easy English Learning Platform. In today's class, we will study determinants. So what are determinants? They're words put in front of nouns and noun phrases to identify them either as specific or general. When they're specific, the referent is presumed to be known, and when they're general, the referent is presumed not to be known. There are several different types of determinants, or in other words, you can have several different classifications of determinants. One category of determinants is possessives, like my, your, his, her, its, our, their. While these possessives are used as pronouns, they are also used as determinants. But when used as determinants, they function differently. They function as adjectives. For example, I like your enthusiasm for learning English grammar. Now, your enthusiasm is a noun phrase in which the possessive determiner your is modifying the noun enthusiasm. Similarly, her spoken English is awesome. Another category or class of determiners is demonstratives. These two are used as pronouns as well, but when used as determiners, they tend to modify nouns. Demonstratives, this and that, are used with singular nouns, and these and those are for plurals. Keep in mind that possessives and demonstratives are used as specific determiners. When used as determiners, demonstratives specify something or someone as being close or distant in space, time, or thought, either physically or metaphorically. For example, I love this reader's comment. The demonstrative this is specifying the reader, and it is specifying the reader as being close in space, time, or thought, either physically or metaphorically. In the other example, I really liked that reader's comment. That is specifying the reader as distant in space, time, or thought, either physically or metaphorically. If this noun phrase was plural, this would have been replaced by these, and that would have been replaced by those. Now, you must be wondering how possessives and demonstratives differ as determiners and pronouns. As determiners, possessives and demonstratives function as adjectives. That is, they modify the nouns and the noun phrases. But when used as pronouns, they in fact substitute the nouns and the noun phrases, and we refer to these nouns and noun phrases as antecedents. For example, I like your shirt. In this case, the specific determiner your is modifying the noun phrase shirt. But when you say this shirt is yours, now your has been used as a pronoun substituting the antecedent in this sentence. Similarly, I like this dish. Now this is functioning as an adjective, as a determiner, as a specific demonstrative determiner modifying the noun phrase dish. But when you say this is mine, now here this is functioning as a pronoun, replacing the antecedent. Articles are one other category of determiners. We have two types of articles, the definite article the and the indefinite articles a or an. The definite article is used with noun phrases that are specific, whereas the indefinite articles are used with noun phrases that are general. For example, the books in my room are mostly on English grammar. Now this is a specific reference. This is a specific collection of books that I am referring to. But when I say, I bought a cake for my birthday, this is a general reference. This could be any cake that has been bought for my birthday. Another distinction between the definite and the indefinite articles is that the definite article can be used with both singular and plural nouns, whereas the indefinite articles are used only with singular nouns. As in this case, the books is a plural subject, whereas in this example, a cake is a singular subject. With reference to articles, you need to keep a few things in mind. When a word begins with a vowel, it is preceded by the indefinite article an and not a. See, these nouns are beginning with a vowel. A is a vowel, O is a vowel, apple, orange. In contrast, words that begin with a consonant are preceded by the indefinite article a. A table, T is a consonant. A chair, C is a consonant. A toast, T is a consonant. However, there are a few exceptions. For a word that begins with a vowel but sounds like a consonant, we will use the indefinite article an and not a. As in this case, it is an honor for me. See, honor in this case, it sounds like O, which is a vowel. Despite the fact that H is a consonant, but since it sounds as a vowel, we have added an instead of a to this word. An honor for me. The reverse is also true. When a word begins with a vowel but sounds like beginning with a consonant, we add the indefinite article a rather than an in front of it. As in this case, a university. Although U is a vowel, but it begins with a consonant sound. It begins with a consonant sound Y, a university. Therefore, we have added a rather than an in front of it. Another important thing to remember is that when a noun phrase is being modified by an adjective and an article needs to be added to it, the pattern will be article followed by an adjective followed by a noun. For example, an honorable man. Now, honorable is modifying the noun phrase man, and there is also an article in it. So the article is coming before the adjective. An honorable man, article, adjective and noun. Same goes with an adorable child, a cute pigeon. See how the pattern article followed by adjective followed by the noun phrase is being followed in all these three examples. We just read that indefinite articles are used with singular nouns, whereas the definite article da can be used with both singular and plural nouns. But sometimes we have a category of nouns which is called the uncountable noun, and there are cases when both the indefinite and the definite articles cannot be used with them. In that case, we will use determiners called quantifiers. Now this is a separate category of determiners. Take the example of tea. When I say please bring me some tea or I need some tea, in this case we will add a quantifier to the noun phrase tea, because I cannot say please bring me the tea or please bring me a tea. Tea is an uncountable noun, and in this case we will have to use quantifier with it. So we have used this quantifier some with the noun phrase tea. But keep in mind that quantifiers are used when the quantity is not mentioned. If the quantity is ascertainable, we will have to use determiners like a cup of tea or the cup of tea on the table when we are making a specific reference to it. So in that case, we will use the definite articles or the indefinite articles depending on the context. When we look at quantifiers, we see that we have different categories of quantifiers. Some quantifiers can be used with both count nouns and mass nouns, and there is a category of quantifiers that can be used only with count nouns and only with mass nouns. Mass nouns means uncountable nouns. All, some, more, a lot of, enough, no, any, most or less. These are examples of quantifiers that can be used with both count nouns and mass nouns. Look at this example. I have a lot of courage. In this example, a lot of is a quantifier, a determiner that is modifying the noun phrase courage. Courage, which is an abstract noun and cannot be quantified. Therefore, it's a mass noun. And we have used this determiner a lot of to modify courage. Much, a little, a large amount of, and a large quantity of examples of quantifiers that we can use with mass nouns only. We cannot use these quantifiers with count nouns. So for example, with a count noun like chair, I cannot say there are much chairs in the class, because these quantifiers can be used only with mass nouns. Now in contrast, many, a few, a number of, several and a majority of, these are examples of quantifiers that will be used only with count nouns and not mass nouns. Look at this example. Much evidence exists to support the theory of relativity. Now we cannot say that many evidence exists to support the theory of relativity. Why? Because theory of relativity is a mass noun, it's not a count noun. And we can use the quantifier much with a mass noun, but we cannot use the quantifier many with a mass noun. In the next example, majority of the class failed to get promoted to the next class. Now majority of is a determiner, it's a quantifier that can be used with count nouns only. And since in this context class is a count noun, we have used the determiner majority of to modify it. Similarly, for a noun phrase like students, which is a count noun, we cannot say that less number of students managed to pass. Instead, we should say fewer students managed to pass, because fewer is a quantifier that can be used with count nouns, whereas less is a quantifier that can be used only with mass nouns. Now there is a caution here: avoid duplication. We have studied that possessive determiners are used to modify noun phrases. My, your, his, her, its, our, their. And when we use possessive determiners to modify noun phrases, we should not add articles to them, because this leads to duplication. For example, you cannot say give me the my shoes. All you have to say is give me my shoes, because adding articles to such an expression would make it grammatically incorrect. Another important point to note in this context is that in some cases the articles are implied. Implied means that there are zero articles, they are deemed to be existing with that noun phrase. For example, exercise makes us healthy. In this case, the definite article the is already implied in this expression. Therefore, you should not be writing the exercise makes us healthy. Lastly, we have the category of interrogative determiners. Interrogative determiners which and what are used to modify noun phrases in interrogative sentences. As in this example, which road leads to this hotel? So I'm asking for the road that leads to that hotel. Now which is modifying the noun phrase road. What dress are you wearing? So I'm asking someone for the kind of dress he is wearing. I hope you found this lecture helpful. Thank you for watching. If you like this lecture, please like and subscribe to this channel, as this helps the Proofread Easy English learning platform in preparing more videos like this. You can also visit us at www.proofreadeasy.com.